What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the Bit of Footy YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to run you through my round 7 tips. Last week I got 7 out of 9, which is okay by my standards actually. Where does that leave me in my own tipping competition? I am 10th out of 16, so not too shabby at all. The leader, I think, was the leader last week as well. It's K. Delaney 12 is the leader with a total of 39 points. But Geordie Pluto close behind on a total of 38 points. Geez, K. Denelli got 9 out of 9 last week. That's massive from him. Yeah, that is pretty big, and Geordie Pluto got 8, so the reason why he's 1 point behind, so it's close at the top. I'm on 33 points, so I'm 6 behind the leader. Jeez, it's going to be a big week this week for the tipping leaderboard. But yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into my round 7 tips. Alright, kicking off on Friday night, we have the West Coast Eagles taking on the Richmond Tigers, two of probably the most disappointing teams this season. It's going to be a tough game. I can see West Coast getting over the line in this one. But if you had to pick a winner, you'd probably go Richmond. Out of the form of both sides, I think Richmond have been, obviously they haven't been great, but they've played okay here and there, whereas West Coast have just been all over the shop this season. Obviously they've had the whole COVID situation with their players and a few injuries here and there. It's going to be tough for them. Richmond, they were alright last week against the D's. Obviously they fell in the second half, but they were okay in the first half. I didn't mind how they were going. But yeah, I think the Tigers, going off how both teams are playing so far this season, I'm going to have to tip the Tigers to win this one. Geelong versus Freo was a bit of an interesting one. No Taberner for the Dockers. It hasn't stopped them from winning before though. You'd almost say, like, you know, a faster side against the Cats is a better side. You know, you look at the side that Hawthorn played against Geelong, much faster, got the job done. They had much more speed in the end than the Cats did. So there is a chance that the Dockers could get it done. But, you know, faster teams at GMHBA, do they really work? I'm not too sure. It's a much, you know, thinner ground than other grounds are in the AFL. I'm just going to go with the Cats to win this one. I think the home ground advantage is going to pay dividends for the Cats. And yeah, they're going to get the job done. But geez, it could go either way. It really could. It really could go either way. The Dockers speed could catch out the Cats in the end. But I'm just going to go the Cats. Home ground advantage, I think, is going to pay for the Cats to win. Then we have the Crows taking on the Giants at the Adelaide Oval. Why do I see this as a danger game? I feel like the Giants could get it done. How often do the Giants go on a massive game losing streak? It's not very often, is it? This could be an absolute danger game, but I really like what the Crows are presenting this year. Obviously, they had 1 week where they lost by a big margin, but they played alright in that game against Collingwood. They played pretty decent. It just took, you know, a blitz from Collingwood to get the margin out. But besides that, they played alright in that game, and every other game they played really, really well. They've beaten the Tigers. They beat the Dogs in Ballarat. That's a hard win to get. And, you know, they've been there in a few games as well. They only lost to Essendon by a few points. So I really like what the Crows have produced this season compared to what the Giants have dished up so far. So going out of form, I'm going to tip the Crows at the Adelaide Oval. I feel like it's going to be closer than a lot of people think. This could be an absolute danger game for the Crows where, you know, the Giants just get the job done. But I'm going to tip it the other way and say the Crows are going to get the job done. And it could be a tight one, but yeah, Adelaide for me. Next, we have the D's taking on the Hawks at the MCG. Another danger game. 3 players out due to COVID protocols for the D's: Jackson, Sparrow, and Pickett. Are they 3 big outs? I wouldn't say they're overly big outs, you know. Have those 3 players been up to, you know, their standard like they were last year? They were at a really good standard last year, Pickett and Jackson and even Sparrow as well here and there. I wouldn't say Pickett and Jackson have been up to their standard this season. So is it 2 big outs? I wouldn't say it's 3 massive outs, sorry. But yeah, I don't think they're 3 massive outs. I think the D's will still be able to cope without those 3 players in the side. And yeah, get the job done over the Hawks. Obviously, I've been thoroughly impressed with what the Hawks have been dishing up. I thought they were very competitive against the Swans. It just took, until the last quarter. The Swans blew them out in the last quarter, ended up winning by 40 points. That can happen sometimes, but they're in the game for the majority of, they were in the game for the majority of the game against the Swans. But yeah, I think the D's are going to continue on their winning run and beat the Hawks here at the G. Next, we have the Saints taking on the Power, but it's at Kazali Stadium. Gonna tip the Saints. Obviously, the Power found some form last week, but it was against the West Coast Eagles. So, are we really shocked? No, not really. Obviously they were up and about. They were really, going at it to win their first game. It was against the West Coast Eagles at the Adelaide Oval. Can they carry on that momentum against St Kilda? It could be one of those games where they do that, where they find a little bit of momentum in their season. But geez, you really just cannot go past how the Saints are playing at the moment. They're playing some phenomenal football. We're challenged by the Giants last week, but they were able to get over the line. They really brought themselves back into that game after halftime. The Saints did. Really impressed with what they've been doing this season. And yeah, their football is really good at the moment. Their standard of play is phenomenal. So yeah, I'm going to tip the Saints to beat the Power in this game. And then we have a bit of a danger game. You never know what Carlton and North Melbourne could bring. Like, it was only a few years ago when I thought the Blues were easily going to get the wood over the Roos, and then the Roos come out and win by 60 plus points. So this game is just a strange one. It has been a strange one for the last few years, and I'm telling you, it could be a strange one again. Marvel Stadium, you never know what it's going to bring. But, North Melbourne are just making too many mistakes. I watched the game against the Cats, and holy Jesus Christ, it was frustrating to watch. If you're a North supporter, I think you can back me up on that one. The Blues, they were in it, and then they just got blown out of it against the Dockers. And, the third and fourth quarter, the Dockers just blew it out of the water. But yeah, you would think the Blues will bounce back, get the job done. It could be like one of those close games again, like it was when the Blues faced the Power. It could be like one of those games where the Blues just get the job done. But yeah, I'm going to tip the Blues to get the job done over North. But like I said before, you never know what the results could be in a game between Carlton and North Melbourne. The Sunday games conclude the week. Obviously, it's the Pies taking on the Suns in the first game. I have to tip Collingwood, but Jesus Christ, this is an absolute danger game. No Grundy, no Kruger, no Elliott. Who's next on the list to be out? I mean, seriously. But yeah, 1:10 p.m. game, I'm going to be there. I'm going to tip us to get the job done, but like I said, this is a danger game. The Suns could pull off what they did against us last year, where, not a lot of people were expecting them to beat us last year at the MCG as well, but they got the job done there. So it could be like one of those results. But, I was impressed with how we stood up on Anzac Day. Ginnivan kicking 5 goals, Checkers kicking a few as well. And yeah, the midfield stood up when it needed to. So hopefully they can stand up in this game as well and get us over the line. So I'm going to tip the Pies over the Suns in that one. Dogs taking on the Bombers at Marvel Stadium. Geez, could this be another bloody 21 goals in a row game to the Dogs? It could be, but geez, at the moment, both teams have been a bit disappointing in the last few weeks. Obviously, the Dogs had that win over North Melbourne, but then collapsed at the hands of the Crows at Mars Stadium in Ballarat. I'm going to tip the Dogs. They normally get the job done over the Dons. So yeah, I'm going to tip the Dogs. It's a 50-50 game. It really is a 50-50 game. But looking at both teams, you would think the Dogs could get it done. They only lost by a point to the Crows. It wasn't a massive loss. Essendon were competitive on Anzac Day though. It's a 50-50 game, but you would think with the team that the Dogs have, they should get it done. But you just never know. But I'm going to tip the Dogs either way. And the last game of the week is surprisingly the best game of the week. I don't know why this game has been put on a 4:40 on a Sunday. It's absolutely ridiculous. And then we get the bloody Eagles versus Tigers as the primetime game on a Friday. So it really doesn't make sense to me. Swans taking on the Lions at the SCG. Holy moly, this is a clash for the ages. Now, this game is gonna, divide a lot of tipping competitions. It definitely is, and it could be like it could be a game that gets a few people back on top, or lets people down. I've been thinking about this game for a little bit. I've been just looking. I've been staring at this game, and I genuinely think the Lions could get the job done. I genuinely think that they're going to go over to Sydney. They've had the longer break than the Swans. They were comprehensive winners over the Suns. They looked very good. Rayner looked good. Cameron looked good. Danaher, he's looking good as well. Their forward line is really clicking. Not a lot of people are talking about their forward line, but their forward line was clicking. Zach Bailey, how good was he? If he can bring that form against the Swans, you never know. I can't wait to see the likes of Bailey and Heaney play against each other. That's going to be ripping as well to see. But yeah, I'm going to tip the Lions. I reckon the Lions could secretly get the job done at the SCG. And if they're going to prove themselves to be a genuine contender this year, this is a game where they need to go over massive pressure against the Swans at the Swans home ground. If they can get the job done, that's massive for them, and I reckon they're going to take all that in and go out and win this game over the Swans. So I've tipped the Lions to get the job done over the Swans. It's going to be a massive game either way. Obviously, the Swans can win this game, no doubt about it, but for my tips, I'm hoping that the Lions get the job done. And that is the video done, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in another video soon. Cheers.